Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi Samir.
Hi, good afternoon, good afternoon. Just give 2 minutes, we'll start, okay?
Sure.
नज़रों में किसी को तकदीर ऐसी
We'll wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll start.
Hi Samir. Samir, can you hear me?
I can hear you, just 2 minutes. I am waiting for 1 more minute. 12:15 will start. I already informed, okay? Okay, so let us start the session. 12:15 is started now. So AWS database services. So as I told you yesterday, we need to plan for the database, right? So we need to understand what is database and all. Before muting you all for the theory, I just want to understand you from your side. What is that database you all having a knowledge? Have you worked on the database anytime before? Any basic understanding you have, RDS and other things?
Yes, sir.
No,
I was.
Samir, I don't have.
Yeah.
Okay. How many
Yeah,
people
SQL.
are all are all are engineering graduates? I hope. You all people might have learnt in your college days RDBMS.
Yes, sir.
So most
At
of the
least-
people might have been
least
aware
100.
about the RDBMS story, Relational Database Management Service. To be honest, 20 years back, 22 years back when I studied my graduation, that time I didn't knew what is RDBMS. Now only I got to know. So it took so many years to understand how exactly RDBMS and what exactly RDBMS works and all those things. After coming into IT, working into IT, I got a knowledge. So anybody who has good knowledge in RDBMS? Okay. So I will explain you everything. Before that, let me ask some questions. Then I will mute and then I'll give you the complete theory. What is the difference between a storage and a database? Can anybody tell?
Storage is the storage can store all the data in a single platform, whereas database is a data warehouse where we can pull the data individually through a query. But storage is the holder of the total database, as far as my concept from storage perspective.
Hi,
Okay.
Samir.
Mhm.
In storage, we can store files and images, file structure, and in database, we can store the information in table forms.
Very good. Any other people who want to answer?
Sir, in database, it is support the applications in organized and quick relative type data. And coming to the storage type, we can store any type of the data.
Okay.
In storage, like we can whatever the data we store, we didn't get any unique ID, but in database we can set a unique ID, or from database we can get this.
Yeah. So let me explain you.
Samir,
Okay.
1 second, Samir.
Yeah.
Samir, before going to database, I have queries with S3. Like, is this training only of theory or any practicals will be conducted for S3? Because there is no practical lab conducted for S3 at all. Single practical class.
S3, we tested S3 bucket creation, we tested S3 cross region replication, we tested how to create the versioning. Not, you didn't attend it?
No, for 12 p.m. batch, we didn't done, I think.
Samir, I have also not done these practicals
12
on
p.m.
S3.
batch, we have not done any practicals, not even a single practical. Only 2 theory practicals were
No.
done.
Hold on, let me check. S3, we have not done bucket creation and all. Guys?
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you said it will be covered in the next lab.
Okay. So we not done the S3 bucket creation and all. Okay. Let me then, I was thinking that I have already showed the S3 lab. Okay. Let me do one thing. Then I will stop today this database. Then I will cover the labs. Okay.
Yeah.
One second. Just give me a minute.
You can share this database PDF. We will review it for later on.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Samir.
Yeah.
Okay. So EC2, we did all the labs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And storage, we have not done any labs.
No.
Pakka, right? I remember like I did it, but let me recheck again. Okay. Okay. So let me start this. I am muting all the people, and I will open once the labs are done. If you have any questions there, you can keep on ask me. No problem at all. Okay, so let me show you. So this is my S3 console. So I go here, I click on S3, right? So when I click on S3, I get an option for creating the buckets. So on the right side, you have an option called as create a bucket. Go and click and create bucket. So you get an option. So remember here, so whenever you go to S3, the bucket, whenever you want to create, this is globally accessible, means you can access from anywhere. It is not defined to any data center. You can create a bucket as it is you need. So go here and give a name, whatever the bucket name you want to create. So remember here, whenever you want to create a bucket name, understand here, the bucket, always the name should be unique. You cannot use the same name what you're using always, like, Raj 123 and other things and all. Okay, so always you need to use a different types of name, means unique name you need to use. Okay, so let's assume I am creating Samir 675675, because always should be unique, so that's the reason I'm using these numbers. I scroll down here. So region, however, you can access globally, but you need to mention the region. The reason of the mentioning the region is that it will help you to access based on the applications, or based on the data based on that location. It will become easy for you to access the data for the users who are located in that location. So that's the reason, because I'm from India, I'm selecting Mumbai. So I select here, I'll scroll down. Now here it is asking about public access. So by default, it is private. So I'm not enabling anything. Scrolling down, here there is an option called as bucket versioning. I already explained you what is versioning. So I am not going to enable any versioning. I will do it later. And here I have an option called as encryption. Do you want to encrypt? So I already explained you, when you do the encryption, there are encryption methods are there. Server side encryption, SSE, and key management service, two types of encryption. I am not enabling this also. And I'm not going with any advanced settings like object lock or anything I want to define. If you want, I can define it, but I'm not doing anything. I'm just going with default, and I'm saying create bucket. So you can see here, it doesn't need a uppercase. That's the reason it is given error. So always need to have a smaller, so and say create bucket. The moment you say create bucket, the bucket gets created. Now you can see here, I created Samir 675675 as a bucket. Okay. Now, if I want to upload any content in the bucket, you have an option called as upload. Whenever you want to upload, simply go here, add files, and what you want to upload, you can upload. So I'll say desktop, and I will scroll down. Shah Rukh Khan picture is here. I'll say open, and I'll scroll down and I'll say upload. Now you can see, right, I have uploaded successfully. Now exit. Okay, now I can upload as much as data I need. As I told you, there is no limit, unlimited data, but only single object file should not be more than XYZ, that is nothing but 5 TB, which I already told you. Now select here. Now if somebody want to access this data, click on this link and scroll down, and automatically you can see that one URL will get created for the users to access. So click on this URL, and when you click on this URL, now you can see that it is saying that you do not have an access because the access is denied because it's a private. Yes, because as I told you, by default, whatever you upload the content, it will be private, so it will not give you an access. If you want to make it access, always remember that you need to give a permission to make it public, then only you can access. But if I say actions on the top of the object, you will find one option called as make public. If I click on make public, if I go scroll down, I can create, right, I can say make public. But if I say make public also, it will throw an error, basically it says that failed to edit public access because I do not have an object level public because insufficient permissions, right? Because why insufficient permission? Because the bucket level is still, you know, unchecked. It is saying that it is not in public level. So I'll click on edit. So I will uncheck here. Okay. And I will scroll down and I'll say save changes. Then it will say that, do you want to make it public? Yes, I will say confirm and say click on confirm. The moment you said confirm, now you can say objects can be public. Now you got the permission of the object which can be a public. So you can see here, I am the bucket owner. I have a permission, list and write. You can see here. So if you see here, bucket owner has list and he can read and he can write, right? These are the permissions which I have. Now everyone, if I say list, they can list. If I say read, they can read, but you cannot give write permission. They can either read or list. I am not giving any permission to anyone. I am just click on object. Now again, click on this. Now going here, now what I'll do is that I'll try to connect and see if that works. So still it is not working because we made it an object level, but now what we did is that we have not turned on the bucket level. We have given the permission. Now we need to enable on the object level. So go here and now say, scroll down and say make public. So when you say make public, say yes. Now you can see successfully edited the public access. Now you can go down, cancel it here, exit. Now click on Shahrukh and scroll down and you can click on this link. Now you can see, right, you all people can access. Now if I give you this link to you all people, anybody can access. So if I shared you the link. Now if you get that link in the WhatsApp, you can see here. Okay, go here. In the WhatsApp I have shared you all. Now if you click on that link, anybody can access that file because I have given the access to that particular object, right? So that is how you can create in a bucket. You can create a object, you can upload it, and you can provide a permission to that object. Now you can see here, but the problem here is that we have not enabled any versioning or anything in this bucket. So it is basically a bucket with an object. Now if I select here and accidentally, let's assume that I deleted. So I said deleted. So I'll say, I'll type it permanently delete, say delete objects. Let's assume I deleted. Now what will happen? Can I get back this? I can't get back because I already told you in the theory. So when you enable in S3, if you create a bucket and if you don't upload the content, okay, and you uploaded the content and you deleted, if you delete the bucket without versioning enable, you cannot get back that content if there is an accidental deletion. Okay, so for that, what you need to do, always you need to enable the versioning if you want the version to be created. Now how do I enable the versioning? Click on bucket, go to properties and click on edit versioning. You will find one option called as bucket versioning enable. Select this, scroll down and say save changes. Okay, now the versioning got enabled. You all people can see. Now what I can do is that now I can repeat that same testing. Okay, now I go to Samir. Okay, I will upload the same content, Shahrukh. Here, add files. So check this Shahrukh file here and upload it and scroll down and say upload. Now I uploaded successfully. Click on exit. Now let's assume you can find one. When the moment I created this versioning, you can see this got activated, versions got activated. Now, whatever I do, any changes or modification, automatically versions will be there. Now, if I say list versions, now there is, as of now, nothing I have done any changes. I just uploaded. Let's assume I deleted this file. Scroll down and say delete. Okay. When I say delete objects, so I deleted the file. Now data got deleted. Now bucket became empty. Now you want that back, click on list versions. When I click on the list versions, you can find your data. If you want to retrieve, click on that Shahrukh, scroll down and click on this link. Now, yes, you are not getting the connectivity because you have not made that particular file as public, as I told you, because you have deleted the data. So again, you need to make it public. So once you make it public, you can access it. So I went here and list versions, I went and I scroll down here and I'll click on this file and I'll say actions and I'll scroll down here. I can say make public and I'll say make public. Once I make public, I have an access. Now click on this shahrukh.jpg and if I scroll down and if I click on this, then I'll be able to access it. So you understood, right? So when you enable the versioning, whatever you do the changes, by default, all list of versions will be available. You modify it, you update it, you delete it, whatever you do, by default, the versions will be available. So you can see here, the list of versions will be available here. So automatically it will be hidden. So whenever you enable, you can get back all your versions with the version IDs. So in that way, your versioning will be helpful. Remember here, once you enable the versioning, you cannot delete the versioning. You can only suspend. Suppose let's now go here to properties. Let's assume edit version and I said suspend. Now I go here and say save changes. So I'll say I acknowledge the outcomes. Okay. And I say save. Now what happened? Now I have suspended the versioning. Now let's assume I go here. I went to the same bucket and now I upload add file. Let's assume I have added one more file called beach. Open and scroll down and say upload. So when I upload, I click on exit. Okay. Now let's assume again I uploaded it. Now I want to delete it. Now I scroll down here and I say permanently say delete object. Now I deleted it. Okay. Now scroll down, say exit. Now if you say list versions, you can see here the delete marker is there, but it doesn't have any file associated. Why? Because you have suspended the versioning. So now you deleted, now you want to get back, you can't get back because you do not have the version ID generated. You can see there version ID became null, which means that you can, once you activated, that time it worked. Once you suspended, you have the older versions are there, but only thing is that the new things when you create, it will not get you and it will not let you do anything because your versioning is got suspended. Now you'll say that, okay, sir, now let me delete this. Delete. Okay. I'll say permanently delete objects. I'll go up and I'll say exit. Now go back. Now go here. Now click on list of versions. Now see, you can see, right? Now I deleted, which means that after enabling the versioning, means after disabling the versioning, now that old version ID, if I delete, then that's it, you're gone. So you can't expect that version to be back because you have deleted that versions permanently. If the versions has not been deleted and you have the, you suspended the, versioning, still you can find the data on the versions because you have the old version. But if you have deleted that, then you will not get again back. So you need to remember that versioning, once you are enabled, it will be always available. But the moment you stop, but the moment you disable the versioning, that versioning is that point of time it is stopped. You cannot, access again. You need to enable back. But the only problem is that if you delete the old versioning, that also will get deleted. So remember this and manage it accordingly. Okay, so that is about the versioning. So you have tested now how to configure the bucket and how to create the object and how to upload the file. You have tested. What are the other options you have? If I go to the properties on the object side, if I scroll down, you already know aware about bucket versioning. Multi-factor authentication delete, I already told you. If you want to delete any data in your S3 content, you can delete with MFA. Nothing but it will ask you for the second level deletion, but that is used only when you have CLI or any kind of an APIs or SDKs. Encryption, if you want to enable encryption. Intelligent tiering, server access logging, if I want to enable, I can enable. CloudTrail, there is nothing but for the authentication purpose, for the for the logs and events. If I want to monitor anything, whatever the activities have been done, I can configure the CloudTrail so that all that information will be captured here. Now transfer acceleration is there, object log is there, all these are there. So in this we can do the last one, that is static website hosting. How can I host a website in my S3? Okay, rest all things are nothing but a small features like CloudTrail and server access logging or encryption. If I just need to go here, say enable, provide this and say save changes, it will do the enable the encryption and all, but you cannot see much differences. But if you want to do something, there is something called as website hosting, which is very important in the S3, which you can host multiple websites. So let us see how we can host a multiple websites. So let's assume I want to host a website called as okay, let's, I have in GoDaddy, I have this my GoDaddy. Okay, I'll go here. So I have these. Okay, I have this. Now let's assume let's take this 1 second. Okay. Let's assume sarainterior.com is my website. This I purchased in the GoDaddy, and if I want to if I want to have this website used in my environment, okay, so I want to host a website called as sarainterior.com. So let us do one thing. So I will create a bucket called as create a bucket SARAHINTERIO.com. I created a bucket name called as sarainterior.com. Okay, in the Mumbai. Scroll down. I will not do any blocking of all public access. Scroll down. I acknowledge the settings, that is fine, public. I am not enabling the encryption and all. Go here and say create bucket. I created a bucket called as sarainterior.com. You all people can see here. I go here and I need to upload the files here to host the website. So to host the website, I need to enable the static web hosting. So before that, I need to have a website content. Okay. So let me see what website content I have. So I think 1 second, I will share you my website content screen. Hold on. Okay. So I think if you see my screen, I hope you all are able to see my screen. So I have here one template folder is there, and this is my some website developer has created some content which has all kinds of files. So this is my development content. So if I want, I can use it. Okay. So what I need to do is that this content I need to upload to my S3 folder if I want to host it. So what I'll do is that I'll go here. I can say upload, add files. So I can go here and I can say okay, now I am saying scroll down and say scroll down and I can say upload. Now you might get it out. What is that files? Those are nothing but those files are basically those files are nothing but which I got it from internet. I downloaded it. So if you want, you can also download. Those are sample files. So this PC. So that is nothing but sample. Those are nothing but your sample website files, which you can also do it. Upload. I am saying and say upload. So I am uploading all these files to my bucket to host the website. Scroll down, succeeded. Exit. Again, I have one more full upload. Upload, yes. And shall say upload. So there are around 44 files are there. These all are nothing but website files. So that rather than I am writing one HTML code and all, I am just downloading that some files from internet to create a simple website. So I went now exit. Now you can see here all my files are ready, means my website content is ready. Now how do I host it, right? So very simple, go to permissions, go here at the bottom. So if I want to host it, so you can see here the bucket, click on the properties of the sarainterior.com, scroll down and there is an option called as static website hosting. Click on edit and say enable host a static website. Scroll down, I will say index.html path I need to give. It's asking, do you have any bidirection rules and all? I'm not seeing anything. Save changes. Yes, it will ask for the error file also. So I will say the same name I'll give for the error file also, index.html, and say done. So I hosted my website successfully. You can see here, website got hosted successfully. This is website endpoint. But when I click on website endpoint, it is saying access denied, which is nothing but it is saying that you don't have an access to host because you don't have the permission. So what I did, I created the bucket, but still I am unable to access. Why? Because it requires a set of policy if I want to access the content. So basically what I need to do is that in the permissions, so I need to enable a bucket policy to if I want to access that S3, the website. So first thing is that I need to make sure that the read access is there. So for that, what I need to do is go to Google. Okay. S3 bucket policy for static website. So when I click on this, so setting permission for the website access, if I click on this, I scroll down. So this is my policy statement. I copy this, go to my S3, edit, paste it, paste that policy, scroll down. What is my bucket name? SARAHINTERIO. SaraInterior.com is my bucket. I will say save changes. Now you can see, right, automatically it became publicly accessible, which means that my bucket has given the permission for that particular website. Go here, click on this, scroll down. Now I go to properties. If I scroll down completely down on the website, if I click on this URL, now right, I am able to access the website without any problems because I have enabled the policy for that particular site to access the website with publicly. Rather than manually giving one by one public access, I have just enabled the policy. Okay. Now you don't want like this full URL. You want basically sarainterior.com. The moment you put this in the website, you want to get it. So what you can do is that you need to note down the public IP what has been given. If I say CMD ping, paste, enter. Sorry. So go here and remove this HTTP, enter. So basically the IP address is 52.219.66.31 is the IP address assigned by Amazon for this S3. So what I need to do is that if I want sarainterior.com, if you want to try accessing from internet and you want the website, what you need to do is that you need to copy this public IP and you need to create a record in your DNS. So let's assume this is my website. I have gone with the GoDaddy. If I go here, option called DNS option will come, manage DNS for the GoDaddy with for the Sara Interior. So remember here, Sara Interior is nothing but a public DNS, public website which I have purchased the name. So I have purchased from GoDaddy. That's the reason it is showing me. If you have not purchased, it will not give you. Because I have purchased, it is showing me. So I'll go here. Okay, so I will say I'll use my name servers. Close. Okay. So this is nothing but I am using my GoDaddy's domain. So go here, DNS. So I can click on DNS again. So now here what I need to do is that I need to put the IP address of my, I need to put the IP address of my address record. So I go here, click on this. So here pointed to what is the IP address we got from the S3? If you go here, the static IP address what I got 52.219.66.31. So I will say 52.219.31 and time to live. That's okay. Save. I saved it. Now your DNS part is done. Now go here into the browser, type sarainterior.com and say enter. You are able to access. Right now, where did I hosted this website? I hosted this website in S3. How much time it took for me? Hardly 4 minutes. Now I go here and I click here. I give it to you people. In your computer, you type this URL. You should be able to access the website without any problems. Okay. I'll quickly unmute you and again I'll mute you for the other labs. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Yes, If you have any questions, you can ask me.
So Samir, I have a doubt regarding the S3. What we see so far, that first we have listed object over there, and later you have object. We have object website in S3. So is there any way that means the S3 also can be used to share the blank space to others to use for their own their purpose?
Yeah.
Like we get Google Drive or
Yeah. You can do. I just showed you so many options. I already showed you how to upload the file and how to share it. You can do that way. No, you want to host it as a website, you can host as a website. So many features are there.
So how come we can share it as a blank? Means let's say you are asking us to get a blank share for us to explore. Then how can we can get that blank space where we have the permission, full permission over there, means personalized permission or something?
You're saying that you want to give a folder access.
Yeah, folder access or a blank space, like we get a Google Drive or OneDrive that is also created in S3, right?
Yeah. You can create a folder and you can give the access now.
Okay.
Samir sir, in Samir sir, in our free account, how much space we can use in S3?
5 GB.
5 GB. Okay.
Yeah.
So Samir, you were saying that when we get that drive, and also it will be created like we one folder was created and given the full permission to that particular user.
Mm-hmm.
Means can you please show me that how can we select a particular user to give access? For example, let's say we are we got this for we are giving this permission to my organization or one department, we need to give permission. Then the how the permission will set for a particular user or a particular group of users.
So see, basically, you want for the object, if you have created an object, you can directly share. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First thing. No, you don't want to have an object. The second option, you want to directly share as a drive. Then, as I told you, there is, if you go to Google, okay, there is a tool called as Cloudberry. Can you see this Cloudberry S3 Windows?
Okay.
Okay. So this tool you need to install in your computer. Okay. And you can create like a folder and you can mount it. Can you see this? And you can share this to your users. And once you provide the username and permission, they will get that folder access. They can upload and they can download whatever the files they want to. Okay. This is
But Samit, this is a third party one, right? Means basically in a organization we cannot get this type of softwares over there.
Wait, I am telling you. Wait,
Okay.
hold on. Okay. So this is one thing. Okay. Now you don't want to do this and you want to do by yourself. You need to write a JSON code, bucket policy code you need to create. Then only it is possible for you to mount it. So you need to create a granting a user access to specific folder in Amazon S3 bucket. You need to create an IAM user, and with that IAM user, you need to create a bucket policy to define it. That is also available. So if you want that, you go to Google. So you need to have, so there is an option called how can I grant access a user grant a user access to specific folder in S3. You will have a S3 policy. You type this, scroll down. So click on this. You can scroll down. What I told you.
Okay.
These policies, you need to write it. You need to update each and every policy on the folder level, apply it, then only it will work.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So understood, right? So this is one way. What's the next question?
Samir,
Yes.
actually, I'm little bit confused about this object level. How we can make public this object? Can you please explain it?
Okay. So you have the bucket.
Yes.
Create a bucket.
Yes.
Give a name like test 5353 something. Okay.
Okay.
Scroll down and say create bucket. Okay.
Okay.
Now you created. So by default, when you create a bucket, what I told you, it is not public.
Mm.
Can you see this?
Yes.
So if you want to give an access to any user, the content, he can do only two things, list and read. He can't do anything.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to have the users, they want to add or they want to do, they want to create, they want to upload. For that, you need it's called IAM, which we have not yet taught you. It will take some time. Okay. By default, you can give list and read as of now. Okay. Now, how you can do? Click on this. Now you can upload any file, whatever you want. Click on add files and say desktop. Okay, let's assume that you want to give a file called route 53. This is the file you want to give to user. You uploaded. Okay. Now once you upload, he can't access it. For that, there is a process is there. For that, you need to make this particular object into a public mode because it's a private. By default, whatever you create, it's a private. But go there here. Okay. Click on that test, and if you go click on the properties, here you will get only options of bucket permissioning and other things will be there. Okay, you will not get any kind of a making the enabling. Okay, so only when you go to permissions, there you will get an option called as block public access. Click on edit here and uncheck this option. Scroll down and say save changes and say confirm. Type confirm and say confirm, which means that your bucket became public. Now objects can be public. Now, but objects can be public. Now you have this. Now you click on this link, and when you give the user this link, still you can see that it is denied because you made the bucket public, not the file. Okay. So for that, what you need to do, go back here. Okay, permissions, or you can say buckets. You can click on the buckets also. Click on the test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Select that file. Click on actions at the top. Scroll down and say make public and say make public. Now it is successful. Exit. Click on this link. Now scroll down. Click on this link. Anybody can access. Now you can see here I am able to access.
Okay.
So very simple. Create a bucket. If you want to make it public, go here and click on this. Click on permissions and block public access will be there. Uncheck it. This is one way. Now the other way is that through policy. Through policy I already showed you. Now you can see here in sarainterior.com what I did. If I see the properties, sorry, permissions, I didn't enable anything manually. Can you see this? I just did through policy. I kept it in the policy, automatically policy updated it in the background.
Okay. So it means when I adding by using policy, the whole bucket is getting public, right?
Yeah. So I have given that public for the bucket.
Okay.
Because I don't have any users. I am the because the website will be accessed by any user.
We can create multiple buckets, right? There is no limitations, right? Only the one single file will be up to 5 TB.
Yeah, so I already told this. So you all people are aware. One account, how many buckets you can create?
5.
100.
Sorry, 100.
No, the single bucket have 5 TB storage, I guess.
Yes, you are right.
So, Samir, my question is, let's say we are creating these buckets for a single, say a single file. We can use and we can share it to the access for the last one. So, until unless we create the IAM, would only be the other people only be able to list that view of that objects, right? Means which is shareable.
Yes, you are right.
Without making bucket public, we can't individually object can't be made public, right?
No, because you don't have access. No, either one. What you need to do, go to services, click on IAM, create a user, and give him the access like that. He should either have an account in AWS or through the URL you can only connect. These are the only two options you have.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let me show you the other labs. I am muting it. Again, once the labs are done, again I'll unmute you. Okay. Okay, now, so now you know that how to host a website in AWS, how to create. So let me first delete these contents, and so actions, and I will say okay, go here and say okay, and say delete, and I say test 5345343, say delete object, delete source here, go here. I am saying select this, delete, delete objects, everything is getting deleted, exit, go here, actions, empty, delete, and I'll say okay, this bucket is not empty, so let us see what is running here. Okay, disturb versions. Okay, the versioning is enabled. Okay, so okay, this is very painful. One by one I need to delete. So let me do one thing, just leave this source. This is for the a different lab, so we'll do it later. So let me delete this and select this and say delete. Scroll down permanently, delete objects. I am deleting, everything is getting deleted. Exit, and I go back here and say sarainterior.com, delete sarainterior.com and say delete object and deleted. Okay. Clear, right? So this is how you can delete the different images, means different content and all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that now other things I'll show you. Now when I create a bucket, I'll give a name. Let's assume demo 1232323 I'll scroll down here and I will say create bucket. So I'll just show you how to copy the data and how to make the data into multiple storage classes, right? So I'll click on upload. and I'll say add files here, and I will add a files. Let's assume I went here and I uploaded a file called beach. Okay, scroll down here and scroll down and say upload and say exit. Now, once I upload, you can see here by default the class is standard. Now you don't want to put it in standard, click on that object actions. There is an option called as edit storage class. Click on this, click on edit storage class, scroll down here. Now you can see these all are the different options are there. Let's assume I'll say standard infrequent access. I select, I scroll down, I go here, save changes, now exit. So the storage class got changed. It became standard infrequent access. Now you want to change it to some other class. So select that file, actions, scroll down and say edit storage class and go here. Now you want to change from anything. Again, intelligent tiring, you want to make it. Select that, scroll down here and say save changes. Now I made it intelligent tiring. So you can see here it became intelligent tiring. So I can move between the classes. Again, if I go here, actions here, I can say go here, edit storage class. Again, I can go here and I can make standard, and I can go down slow down here. I can say save changes and I can say exit. Again, I can see it became standard. Anything you can do from one class to another class, but what you can't do, select here, actions, go down, edit storage class. If you move the data to Glacier, okay, and you set save changes, exit. Now the storage class is Glacier. Now you want to get back to S3 in the normal standard. That is not possible. Okay, so you can see here, edit storage class, you cannot get back. Okay, if you want to get back, there's an option called initiate restore. Okay, the restored copy is automatically deleted after specific number of days. Okay, so I can say 1 day, I can say go down. How do you want initiate restore? So the restored copy will be available until approximately by tomorrow. Okay, so as I told you, it might take, because it has moved, and it will take some time to restore. Okay, so it will do the backend restoration. It might take some time. So once it is enabled, the time has taken. Once it gets, automatically you will find this storage class will become changed. So once it is available, then you can use it. Like this, you can modify the storage class from one class to another class, and you can move it. So remember, once you move to Glacier, you will not get any options, right? So it is taking the process in the background. It will try to take some time. After that, you will find it is, it takes time, and then you can view that file. So I'm deleting this object from the list here, but in the background, after the restoration, you can still get it after couple of maybe one day or whatever it is there, the duration of the time which has been taken. So you can get it. So whatever you want, you can do the classes, you can change between the classes. You have 5 classes, and except Glacier and Deep Archive, any class you can move anytime. But only thing is that once you move to Glacier, anything getting back is very tough. So these all are the different features what you get in the object level. So that is there. And next thing, how do I create a replication? What is the process of creating a replication? So very simple. So you need to have to enable the cross region replication or any kind of a replication. You need to make sure that one condition is that you need to have a versioning enabled on the both the buckets, and you need to make sure that the lifecycle management rule has been created. So for that, you need minimum 2 buckets. So one, I can say create a bucket. I can say my source bglr 12345. I can create a bucket called my source bglr 12345, and I will go here and I will say enable versioning for the replication. scroll down and I'll say create bucket. I can create the bucket. Now I created my source Bangalore bucket. Now you want to create a target, create a bucket, and I'll say my target, or I can say my destination 1 2 3 4 5, and I'll say scroll down, and I need to enable the versioning. Scroll down here, I can say create a bucket. Okay, now I created my destination 1 2 3 4 5 and my source Bangalore 1 2 3 4 5. Now if you want to move the data from source and destination, so remember one thing. So this is how you need to create two buckets, but one thing what you need to understand is that you need to make sure that location where you want to put it. So both, if you're putting in the same location, it doesn't help you. So what you can do is that you need to put source in one location 3 4 5 and destination in one location. So for that, what I'll do is that I will create again a bucket, my source 1 2 3 4 5 Mumbai. So which means that source bucket will be in the Mumbai, and I will enable the versioning, and I'll put destination in some Singapore or some other location. So scroll down here and say create bucket. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 7 7. I kept 1 2 3 4 5 7 7, no problem. So I given my source 1 2 3 4 5 7 7. Again create bucket, I am giving destination, my destination. Okay, so I created Sydney. Sorry, where is the destination? Oh, sorry, I created in the same location. So let me delete this. My destination 1 2 3 4 5 7 7. I am deleting it, and again I'll create with a different location. So I'll say my destination 1 2 3 4 5 6 5. I can say my destiny 6 5 6 5 6 5, and here region I am changing it to what I'll do, not California I'm giving. So I'm creating a bucket in different locations. Scroll down and make sure versioning is enabled. Scroll down here and say create bucket. So you have destiny 65656, and you have my source 1 2 3 4 5 7. So one is in Mumbai, one is in California. So I will create a rule from Mumbai to California. I have gone here. So you can see here in permissions, you have all these options, right? So always, if you want to configure any rules, you need to go to management, and in the management, you need to create a rules. So if you go here in the management, there is an option called as replication rule, and say create replication rule. I will say my rule replica. I am saying, I'm giving a name. Scroll down. So this rule applies to all the objects in the bucket. Okay, no problem. So scroll down, choose a bucket in this account. So destination is what? So choose a bucket in this account. So what is that bucket? We need to destination. Destination is nothing but we selected my destiny. So choose path. Okay, scroll down. It's asking for a role, IAM role. So I'll say go down and say create a new role. So automatically I'm telling the system to create one role. So I'm not creating any other additional options. So I'll just say save. I created a rule, very simple rule. My source is 123457. That is in Mumbai, AP South 1. And the destination is, what is the destination we have? Destination bucket is 65656. It is in Virginia. So this is my destination bucket. So I go here. So if I want, I will upload one file to check, to do the testing. I go to the add files and I will put it here, go upload and say, scroll down and upload, exit. Now you can see the source got beach.png file, which I just uploaded. Now I already created a rule for this. If you click on the management, so if you see, if you scroll down here, there is a replication rule which is storing in 65656. So what I need to do is that I need to go to Amazon S3. I can click on my destiny. So here you can see automatically that file what you copied in the source has been come to destination. I have not done anything. The moment I copied there, automatically it will copy here. So again, if you want, you can test here. So I can just go here, my source. I can add one more file, add files. I can show you here. I can say, AWS. I am saying database file here, upload. Scroll down here, upload. I did the upload. Now you can see successfully it got uploaded. Click on exit. Now go back and check in the destination path. So you can see here, right? So only beach.png is there. Now you need to get the other one. So refresh it. So it will take 1 or 2 seconds because it's getting copied. So my source 1234577. Can you see this? Automatically that file got came here. Only it has taken some time, but it has been reached. So like this, your data gets replicated across, in the concept of cross region replication. So like this, you have one more option called as, if I go to Amazon S3, you have, if you go to my source, whatever you created, you go to management, you also have lifecycle rules also. If you click on create lifecycle rules, and you can define the lifecycle actions, transit current versions, explicit current versions. You have so many options, like you can say standard IA, days after object creation, 30 days. Again, I can say add a transition, intelligent tiering from after 30 days. Again, I'll say 30 days. Like this, I can create the transition between one class to another class. So you can see here, so 0 days after 30 days. So by default, it is in standard. After 30 days, it will go to infrequent access. After 30 days, it will go to intelligent tiering. Like that, your data will get moved. So I'll give a name like, test, and I'll say this rule applies to all the objects in the bucket or anything. So I'll say all the objects in the bucket. So if I say here, I acknowledge this rule for all the objects. So transition current version of objects between storage classes. So I can see here, I can say 30 days, add transition one zone. I will say 90 days, add transition after 90 days, glacier, I will say 30 days, right? So like this, I can create. So scroll down. Okay. So like this, I can say transition, I can define an intelligent tiering. I can say 90 days. I can define from here. I can say 120 days. Like that, I can create number of days. I can from say 180 days. Like this, I can create number of days which should not overlap between those days what has been provided by your vendor. And I acknowledge this. And once I scroll down, it will give me a structure: day 0, day 30, day 90, day 120, and day 180. Once it is done, the data will be moved. And if I say create a rule, automatically that particular content is following that life cycle rule. So this is one rule like that you can create. and no, you want to do the previous versions of the storage classes, you can expire current versions of the objects, or you want to do the permanently delete previous version of the objects, or delete expire delete marker. So what you want, you can define. So based on that, you can optimize and you can do accordingly. So all these are the features what you get in the lifecycle management rules. So if you click on management, you get lifecycle management rules, replication rules, inventory configuration. So what is this inventory configuration? Which is nothing but you can create an inventory, like how many folders, how many buckets you have created, what kind of a buckets you have created. You want to generate a report, right? So by you want to generate a report by what is the last modified, what you did the multi-part upload, what kind of a storage you have uploaded, who has uploaded, what kind of a tiring is there, whether the retention period is there or not. All these things you can create an inventory as a report. For that, it has an additional option of, by storing that report in the S3 bucket, you can configure an S3 bucket and you can integrate if you want to create as a folder. So that also you have an option. So all these are the different options you get. So metrics are basically for the monitoring. When you learn the CloudWatch, more detail there you'll understand. Permissions you are already aware. I already explained you. Public access and other things, ACLs, everything you have. Okay, so you can define it and you can create accordingly. Properties, you know that I already showed you how to enable the versioning. I showed you. Okay, you want to enable encryption, you click on the encryption, you can enable. So all these are the multiple options you have. You can just explore it. So based on the exploration, once you try to do multiple labs, you will get an idea. Okay. So let me unmute you. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Yes.
Samir, can you please show the rule which you have created, means the destination rule you have created, na?
Which one?
The destination you have created, na? Like here, my destiny, the destination rule you have created, na? Source. That's what I want to see.
Cross-region replication rule.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The region replication
Yeah, that
replication
was
rules.
in the source.
Okay.
Yeah, this one.
Okay. So here you only give the destination, right?
Correct.
So source, it will be as we are doing the we are implying the rule in the source. Only we need to
Provide the
mention
destination.
the destination.
Correct.
One thing I just have a query, like for example, let's say I make a replication of this my source 1234577, right? Now that means the data from my source, it goes to the my destiny 656565. Now if I make the my destiny 6565 as a source, can I do the same object replicate to another source?
No. One to one.
Okay. No, that means that actually we in the storage we have a concept that we can do source to a destination and make the destination as a source and again make it replicated.
Sir, can we delete files from the destination folder?
You can delete. If I give an access, you can delete.
Okay, so if I delete that, then it will be deleted from source also.
No. Source will be there.
Source will be there. Okay. And what is the difference between these storage classes like standard and standard IA, sir?
Oh my God. Don't ask. So many things I explained you already. What is the 5 types of classes I told you?
Yeah. Okay.
Standard,
In that we can take now, right?
access, standard
I
one.
thought there is something difference, extra difference here, but is that same?
The same thing. There's no difference.
Okay. And what is the advantage of this storage classes transition? The number of days.
The advantage is that, see, cost. Suppose if you keep everything in one standard, you are paying 100 rupees. After 90 days, I'm moving from standard to infrequent access. Then, let's assume for 90 days, you're paying 100 rupees. The moment the 91st day, if it is moving to infrequent access, you're paying 70 rupees, and after that, after 90 days, again you're moving to some other storage. So basically the moment you do the tiring from one storage to another storage, the cost is getting reduced because the usage is getting reduced. Basically it is like this: you have 5 boxes. Okay,
Okay.
one is
Yeah.
like super fast performance, one is fast performance, one is good performance, one is average performance, one is poor performance. Okay, now super fast performance is expensive, average good performance is little expensive, means less than super fast. So like that you have options. Let's assume now you're using regularly one data. Maybe after 2 months you might not use that data regularly, you might be hardly using in 2 months once. Why do you want to put it in the super fast? You can move to the second box. Now let's assume that data became further 6 months old, move to the third box. Let's assume that data became further 1 year old, move to the fourth box. Let it that the data became 2 to 3 years old, go to the backup, and after that delete it. Like that you can create a rules.
Okay, sir. Right.
Any other questions?
No, sir. Today.
Samir, what is what do you mean by resource-based policy?
Replication. Just wait. It's a cross-region replication. So you told me when we make cross-region replication that the object is replicate into the zone, means destiny zone, right? And you told that we can delete it. So if we delete it, can it be again replicate in the
No.
cross-region replication?
No.
No. Okay. Okay.
Once deleted, it's gone. Okay, so these are the different labs. I can give you the scenarios. You need to practice by yourself, then only you'll get that confidence. If I do everything, you'll not get that confidence. So I showed you, right, how to create bucket, how to enable permissions, how to host a website, how to create cross-region replication, how to create lifecycle management rules. You start doing it, you start applying those all things in your local labs, then then you'll get that confidence.
Definitely. When we do practice, then
Yes,
more
practice makes man perfect. So as much as practice you do by yourself, then only you'll understand. Now you have seen, right, all the labs. You know how to create a bucket, you know how to give the permission, you know how to create the apply policies, you know how to configure the bucket, you know how to upload the website, you know how to enable the website, you know how to create the lifecycle management rule, you know how to create the replication, and basic things already everything is there. Only the other things like enabling encryption and other things are by default. Just click on that and say save, it will get enabled. So basic things are that. So once you start exploring those labs, then you will get more clarity.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So next week I'll show you the lab called as EFS, Elastic File Storage, how to create a file storage and how to apply. And also I'll show you this, what is that, storage gateway. With that, your labs of storage will get completed. Then we'll start the database. Okay.
Samit, thanks.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Have a great day ahead and happy. Thank you.
Thank you.